What's good, YouTube? Giants fan 696 back here with a video today, and today's video is going to be a breakdown of the off-ball pest badge in NBA 2K25. So, off-ball pest, the returning badge this year, improves a player's ability to bump and harass the offense off the ball. So what I did in this case is I took Tatum and edited him to have the badge on bronze, silver, gold, Hall of Fame, and legend based on the attribute thresholds you would need in the builder. So for bronze, he will have 69 interior and 58 perimeter. Even though in the case for this badge, you need interior or perimeter, just for the purpose of this test, I gave him both. Silver, he'll have 76 interior and 68 perimeter. Gold, 85 interior and 80 perimeter. Hall of Fame, 94 interior and 87 perimeter. And on legend, he'll have 97 interior and 98 perimeter. So what I'm going to do also is I gave Paul George gold slippery off ball, as you could see here. And again, slippery off ball is just kind of the counter to off ball pest. It strengthens the player's ability to get open off the ball. So we have Paul George as slippery off ball at the gold tier, which means his threshold is 85 speed and 77 agility. Just kind of a baseline of where I think if you're going to invest in off ball pest, you want to at least be able to beat slippery off ball gold, in my opinion. So we're going to start him out there and see what it looks like. And yeah, the way we're going to test it is I'm either going to put Tatum on a cut or I'm going to call an off ball screen for him. And we're just going to see if he gets open. If he gets open off the cut, if he's able to get by, Paul George is going to get by Tatum, or if he's going to get open off the screen with his gold slippery off ball. Yeah, so those are two things we're going to do to test against Tatum. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it. Alright guys, and as usual, we are going to kick it off here with Tatum with no off-ball pest, just under the bronze threshold you need in the builder. So he'll have 68 interior and 57 perimeter. Again, going up against Paul George with that gold slippery off-ball. And just a couple other things to keep in mind here, guys, is that this test is done on Hall of Fame, as usual, on high risk and high reward shooting. Again, for the off-ball screens, and really the cuts, we're not really looking at the contests. We're just looking to see if they get open. We're looking at the contests. We're not really looking to see if I make it or not, to see if they got open. And lastly, all of Tatum's and Paul George's other badges have been removed. So we'll purely see the effect of slippery off-ball versus that off-ball pest. So let's see what it looks like. Alright, and Paul George gets a wide open here to kick it off. So Tatum is going to be 0 for 1 there. Again, with no off-ball pest, don't really expect him to be able to get around the screen in time, but that's going to be 0 for 1. Alright, second try here, guys. And Tatum nowhere to be found there, so that is going to be 0 for 2. A wide open there for Paul George. Third try here. And that's going to be another open, so that is going to be 0 for 3. For Tatum, we're only going to call it a win for him if he gets a lightly or heavy. Any wide opens or opens will be wins for Paul George. So that's going to be 0 for 3. And that's going to be another wide open there. So Tatum is 0 for 4. Again, with no off-ball pest, he's looking very bad right now. So hopefully when he hits the badge, he's able to do something. But right now, it's 0 for 4. All right, fifth try here. That's going to be another open. So he's 0 for 5 there against the off-ball screens. Now let's see the cuts, if he's going to be able to guard any of those with off-ball pest. I doubt it, but you never know. Alright guys, so now we're going to test out the cut to see if that looks any different here than the off-ball screens. As you can see, that is wide open right there. He went right by Tatum. Tatum put up no resistance, so he's going to be 0 for 6. Alright, 0 for 6. Let's see our next one here. And he just absolutely went right by him that time. So he is going to be 0 for 7. Alright, see what our next cut here looks like. Again, right by Tatum. So that is going to be 0 for 8. Looks like Tatum's going to need this off-ball pest on something so far against a gold slippery off-ball. Alright, next cut here, guys. I mean, he just literally killed them again. So he will now be 0 for 9. Alright guys, Tatum's 0 for 9. Let's see what our last cut looks like here. And again, just right by him. So Tatum finishes 0 for 10. not able to stop Paul George off the screen or on the cut. So we're going to go ahead and give Tatum that bronze off-ball pest now, where he'll have 69 interior and 58 perimeter. Alright guys, so Tatum looked absolutely horrible versus goal slippery off-ball without off-ball pest. He went 0 for 10. So yeah, let's see what it looks like with bronze. Maybe he'll be able to stop him from doing something, but maybe not. Never really know. Alright guys, kick it off. We're going to call a screen for him. And Paul George got open there, so that is going to be 0 for 1 for Tatum. Again, he gets open again. So that's going to be 0 for 2 for Tatum. Again, he got, it's just too slow right now to keep up with Paul George's slippery off ball on goal. So that's going to be 0 for 2. Let's see what our third one here looks like. And that's going to be open, another wide open there. So that's going to be 0 for 3. All right, fourth try here, guys. And again, he gets open right off the screen again. So Tatum will now be 0 for 4. All right, last off-ball screen here. And again, wide open off the screen. So that will be 0 for 5. So again, on bronze, didn't make any difference. He still was unable to stop Paul George off the screen at all, but let's see if there's any difference with the cuts now. All right, so first cut here. And Tatum unable to stop him from cutting there, so he will now go to 0 for 6. All right, second cut attempt here, guys. And just look at Paul George absolutely blow by him for the easy layup. That will be 0 for 7. All right, third cut attempt here. And Paul George again right by him. So Tatum will now go to 0 for 8. Alright, 0 for 8. Let's see our next cut attempt here. And again, Paul George is able to get behind him there. So that's going to be 0 for 9. And guys, this bronze off-ball pest is looking very bad right now. So we're going to want to higher than this. But let's see what our last one here looks like. And Paul George, again, right by Tatum for wide open layup. So Tatum finishes 0 for 10 again, unable to stop Paul George off the screen or any cuts. So we're going to move Tatum up to silver off-ball pest now, where he'll have 76 interior and 68 perimeter. All right, guys, so far, no off-ball pest and bronze off-ball pest are both 0 for 10 against this goal slippery off-ball. So let's see if silver is going to be better, if we're going to get more of the same here. All right, going to kick it off with the off-ball screen. And Tatum is going to be 0 for 1 there. Again, still unable to stick to me with that off-ball pest. So that's going to be 0 for 1. All right, second try here. Again, that's going to make Tatum 0 for 2. Unable to stay with me there. Third try here, guys. Again, that's going to be another wide open, so that's going to make Tatum 0 for 3. And I don't know, this goal slippery off ball, he hasn't been able to keep up with me yet. So looks like to guard someone off the screen, you're gonna need higher than silver on off ball screen, but let's see what the last two look like. He's 0 for 3 right now. That's going to make him 0 for 4. And that's going to make Tatum, again, 0 for 5 versus the screen. So still not looking good on silver, but let's see if maybe he'll have more success versus the cuts this time. All right, first cut here, guys. And that, he just, again, sliding right by Tatum. That's going to be 0 for 6 right there. All right, second cut here. Again, and just look at how Paul George is flying by Tatum still. Even with that silver off-ball pest, he's not able to bump or harass him at all, like, the badge description says. So he's going to be 0 for 7. All right, next one here. Again, right by him. So Tatum is going to go to 0 for 8. 2 more to go. All right, next one here. Again, killing him right by him. Tatum will now be 0 for 9. All right, last cut here. And Paul George, again, right by him. So Tatum finishes 0 for 10 again with silver off-ball pest. So, this goal slippery off-ball is either really good or off-ball pest up to this point has been really bad. So, but now it'll be gold versus gold. where Tatum will have 85 interior and 80 perimeter. With that gold off-ball pest, see if maybe you have more success against that gold slippery off-ball. Alright guys, so it's now gold versus gold. 0 for 30 up to this point. The off-ball pest tiers have looked very bad against this gold slippery off-ball up to this point. So let's see if this gold off-ball pest brings us any success. Alright, we're going to start off by calling a screen for Paul George. And that is going to be an open. So Tatum will be 0 for 1 right there. I will say that looks like the closest he's got to him, but still 0 for 1 because he gave up an open. He didn't get a lightly or a heavy, so 0 for 1 for Tatum. Alright, second try here, guys. Yeah, and that's going to be a wide open, so Tatum will now go to 0 for 2. Alright, third try here, guys. And Tatum unable to do anything there. That will be 0 for 3. Alright, fourth try here, guys. And Tatum, again, unable to get to me. So, again, that's going to be an open, so he will be 0 for 4. And Tatum, again, getting stuck in the mud. So, so Tatum finishes 0 for 5. So again, gold off-ball pest, it didn't stop gold slippery off-ball at all with off-ball screens. So let's see what it looks like with cuts now. Alright, first cut here. And Paul George, again, just right by him. So Tatum will be 0 for 6. Alright, second cut here, guys. And Tatum walls him up here. Yeah, so I mean, Tatum walled him up that time, so that is going to be 1 for 7, so that's progress. He at least stopped him on a cut. Again, for the cuts, we're just really looking to see if he gets behind him. That time he didn't. He stayed in front of him, so that will be 1 for 7 for Tatum. Alright, next cut here, guys. And he does get behind Tatum that time, so he will go to 1 for 8. Alright, next cut here. And he slides by him that time, so that will now be 1 for 9. Alright, let's see our last cut here, guys. And he does get by him there. So Tatum finishes 1 for 10. Again, 0 for 5 in stopping the off-ball screens. And 1 for 5 in stopping the cuts. So that's still bad. So we're going to move Tatum up to that Hall of Fame off-ball pest now, where he'll have 94 interior and 87 perimeter. Alright guys, we have not had any luck with off-ball pest. Gold just went 1 for 10, stopping 1 cut. And everything else has went 0 for 10 against this gold slippery off-ball. So we're not Hall of Fame off-ball pest. So let's hope we see some better results here. All right, guys, gonna kick it off with the screen here for Paul George as usual. And Tatum sticks to me like glue that time, getting a very tight. So that's gonna be 1 for 1 right there for him. And yeah, the first time he stopped an off-ball screen. So 1 for 1 for Tatum. All right, guys, second try here. And Tatum absolutely got lost there, so it will now be 1 for 2. Third try here, guys. And Tatum, again, sticking me there, so he will now be 2 for 3. Alright, Tatum's 2 for 3. Let's see our fourth try. And Paul George gets open there, so he will now be 2 for 4. It's looking like a 50-50 with Hall of Fame, but let's see our last one here. Alright, 2 for 4 right now. Let's see what our last one here looks like. And Tatum's able to get a red there, so that will be 3 for 5. He finishes on the off-ball screen. So now let's see how he does against the cut. So you can already tell off the bat Hall of Fame looked way better than everything else because he stopped me 3 for 5 times on the screen. And none of the other tiers stopped Paul George on the screen at all. So let's see how he does versus the cuts. Alright guys, so 0 for 5 right now. Now we're going to see what it looks like with the cuts. And he stole that one. So, sorry, not 0 for 5. He's 3 for 5. Sorry, just used to saying 0 for 5 because of the last ones. He's 3 for 5. And he is now 4 for 6 because he stole the first cut. So let's see our second cut attempt. And he steals it again. So, I mean, that's pretty good. So he now goes to 5 for 7. Next cut here. And again, he's stealing it. He's not letting me get by him, so he advances to 6 for 8. And honestly, this Hall of Fame off-ball pest is looking pretty good right now. Alright, let's see our next cut here. And look at Tatum just being able to get in the way and, you know, stop him. So that will be 7 for 9. He's 4 for 4 at stopping the cut. Alright guys, last cut attempt here. And Tatum again getting in the way of Paul George, not letting him get behind him. So he finishes 8 for 10, and honestly, Hall of Fame looked really good. He went 5 for 5 in stopping the cut and 3 for 5 in stopping the off-ball screen. So now we'll go to Legend off-ball pest for Tatum, where he'll have 97 interior and 98 perimeter. And since Hall of Fame went 5 for 5 versus the cut, we're going to stop the cut there, and we're just going to focus on them off-ball screens and see if we could do better than 3 for 5, which is what Hall of Fame did. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Alright guys, so Hall of Fame off-ball pest looked very good, going 8 for 10 against that goal slippery off-ball. Yeah, so 3 for 5 in contesting Paul George off the screen, staying connected to him, and then he went 5 for 5 in stopping Paul George on the cut. So now we're going to focus on those screens since he just went 5 for 5 versus Hall of Fame off-ball pest. He went 5 for 5 against that goal slippery off-ball, is what I meant to say, on the cut. So yeah, let's see what Legend off-ball pest gets into here. Okay, and he is able to contest me there, so he will start off 1 for 1, getting a tight. Alright, second try here. And Paul George is able to get open there, so he will now be 1 for 2, which is kind of crazy to think about because he has Legend off-ball pest and Paul George has gold slippery off-ball, but that's going to be 1 for 2. Alright guys, third try here. And Tatum absolutely couldn't stay with him there, so that is going to be 1 for 3. So Legend's kind of off to a bad start here, but let's see how we finish. And Tatum is able to get a red there, so that will now be 2 for 4. Let's see what our last one here looks like. Alright guys, last one here. And Tatum gets a lightly on us there, so that will be 3 for 5, tying Hall of Fame, and that concludes our test. So just to recap for you guys, again, we tested everything against Paul George with gold slippery off-ball. So with no off-ball pest, bronze, and silver, Tatum went 0 for 10 in stopping the cut or the off-ball screen. So right off the bat, you could eliminate those 3. Could also eliminate gold because he went 1 for 10 versus gold slippery off-ball with gold off-ball pest, stopping 1 cut, and he left, which means he left 4 through, and then couldn't stop 5 off-ball screens. So then you get the Hall of Fame and Legend. Now Hall of Fame to me is by far the best option. I'm just gonna say it outright. He went 8 for 10 in stopping me there, so he went 3 for 5 in stopping the screen, and then 5 for 5 in stopping the cut. And then with Legend, we didn't do the cut, right? Because he went 5 for 5 in stopping the cut with Hall of Fame off-ball pest. So no need to do it on Legend. But he also went 3 for 5 in stopping the screen, which is the same as Hall of Fame. So my advice for this is going to be very simple. If you want to stop slippery off-ball, you're going to have to go Hall of Fame off-ball pest. And I wouldn't go Legend because that we got the same results as Hall of Fame, so it wouldn't make sense. And anything under Hall of Fame got absolutely destroyed by gold slippery off-ball, so just imagine if they had it even higher than that. So yeah, simply here, if you're worried about slippery off-ball, you're going to need Hall of Fame off-ball pest, which will be either a 94 interior or 87 perimeter defense. Again, which one of those you pick is really up to you, but definitely go Hall of Fame for this one. Pretty self-explanatory based on this test. So appreciate you guys tuning into this video. Let me know down below which badge I should break down next. Check me out on Twitch. I've been streaming a lot of my team and Proving Grounds content on there, and I'm out.